Can't get cold. I don't care
Our
about
next speaker,
it.
Alan Dickinson, is going to talk to you about culture in Costa Rica. Not him, yeah.
You're on the other side of the
Glasses. Culture in Costa Rica is a heck of a lot different than the culture back in the States.
I hope so.
Yeah. And with that, Alan, you ready?
And the first time I met you, I asked you why you weren't married. And now I asked you, why aren't you married to me?
Stop that talk.
Don't know.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning. I'm here on time. I think Earl is really excited tonight. I didn't think I was going to be. The trip that took me 20 minutes to get here Tuesday took me 40 minutes to get here today.
Wow.
Traffic. My name is Alan Dickinson. I'm here to talk to you about the culture of Costa Rica. It's not going to be exactly what you expect, but I hope you find it interesting. I've been here for 12 years. I'm married to a Tika, so I'm stuck here. Not going anywhere. My expertise comes from a couple of things. I have a master's degree in large group psychology.
Okay.
So I walk around going, why'd they do that? But it's not really that, it's my wife. I'm married to a Tika, obviously. I married into a Tika family. I've got all this group out here around me, and I'm more often saying, why'd they do that? Anyway, it's my mentality to ask questions about why people do things and come to understand, hopefully, sometimes, not always, why people in Costa Rica do the things that they do. Let me see here. First thing I got to do is I got to go through some academic stuff. What is culture? Well, culture is how people live. It's the things that we learn as we grow up, when we go to school, when we deal with people every day. It comes out of the way that they live, the way they grew up, the things that they learned when they were in school from their family, from those around them, their friends, whatever. And this culture is different than ours. It's not what we're used to. They have many of the same values that we do. They like family, they believe in honesty, they're friendly, but some of the things and the way that they look at things are different than the way we do. You've all read, I am sure, some of the online sites about Costa Rica, some of the tour books, some of the guidebooks, all that stuff. That's not what I'm here to talk to you about this morning. What I want to tell you about is some of the things that the books don't mention. Some of the things that I've discovered, some of them the hard way, and that you will encounter as you spend time here. The culture is comprised of a lot of different things. What we see is above the line, their behavior. And that's what we accept as their culture. Well, it's comprised of a lot of things, just like I just mentioned, their values, their assumptions, who they are, their roles, all those things. That makes up their behavior, what we observe. I have to take notes. It comes from deeply held and complex ideas about who they are, and it's expressed in this behavior and these various different things that we see. Excuse me. It's passed from generation to generation by the culture itself. It does not change easily, and it is going to be somewhat different than what we're used to. That difference causes something that we call culture shock. When we encounter something we don't understand, that we don't think is the way it should be, doesn't mean that it's wrong for this culture, it's just different for us. What's going to happen, and I will make this guarantee, that everyone in this room, even those of us that have been here quite a while, are going to have culture shock. I still have it on a daily basis. and that's outside my home. The trick to that is to learn how to deal with culture shock. Well, first you have to be able to recognize it. Some of the symptoms of culture shock are mood swings, depression, homesickness, anger, frustration, headaches, and that can last a long time. It can last at least 12 years, I can tell you that. When we encounter those things within ourselves, we need to learn how to deal with them. I'm going to get into some of the ways to deal with culture shock as we get further into this. But for right now, let me say that the first thing that we want to do is to not try and change their culture to our culture.
Correct.
This is their country, this is their culture, we need to adapt to their culture. Doesn't always happen. An example, a few years ago, there were, oh, by the way, if I use a word that offends you, like gringo, some people don't like that word, I don't understand. It's a catch-all word for people that are not from this country. Just like Ticos call themselves Ticos. It's who we are. Don't take offense, please. A bunch of gringo ladies formed an organization to hopefully help professional young Tico women, I'm going to repeat myself, become more professional. As a part of organizing this, they went out and had a very well-known young lady graphic artist design a logo for the group, and this is the logo that they came up with. The logo was put out for approval. The Tico women said, wow, that's beautiful, that's wonderful, I love that, that's nice, that's really great, that it really expresses who we are. The gringo women said, that's terrible, that's sexist, that's not representative of who we are. We're professionals, yada, yada, yada. And as a result, the logo was changed. It became this. This is just an example of how we gringos can come into this country and try and change it to our own standards. The Ticas were very happy with it. It was the gringas that were not happy with it. It's some of the things that you're going to find as you encounter this culture are some very obvious differences. Ticos are conflict averse. Now, what's that mean? It means they don't like conflict.
They avoid it.
They will do anything to avoid conflict. They don't like conflict. They will tell you yes when they mean no, because they are afraid no will cause a conflict. They will design processes that are extremely involved and complex. And you'll see them if you go to try and open a bank account and they ask you if you have a maid, like they asked me, what the hell has that got to do with opening a bank account? Somewhere, someplace, someone along the line decided that in order to avoid conflict, somewhere, somehow, out in the future, the bank needed to know whether you had a maid or not. So they put that into the process to avoid conflict someplace out in the future. Probably never happened. Well, it probably did happen one time, and that's what caused that to come about. To them, following the process is more important than the results. They will go through these complex convolutions to get something done and never get it done because of all the convolutions and steps that they have to go through. But that's more important. Don't be surprised by the results if you don't follow the process. As a component of that, time is not an issue. In this culture, one of the few things that is free is time. And we gringos think of time as money. And we say things like, I don't care how you get it done, just get it done.
Mm-hmm.
That do not work here, folks. Do not work.
That's funny.
Another issue you will encounter is accepting responsibility. Ticos do not like to accept responsibility. I was kidding with Eileen and Ivy, who I'm sure you met at the office the other day about it. Every year for my birthday, which was earlier this month, I get the same thing. I get a coffee cup. That's usually because my old coffee cup got broken. I don't have a strong attachment to coffee cups. I don't care whether it gets broken or not. But I will go in the morning to get a cup of coffee and
There's no cup.
no coffee
No
cup. There's 20 other coffee cups there, but not my coffee cup. I'll look in the trash and there's the coffee cup, broken. Okay, use another coffee cup. And I will say, what happened to my coffee cup? I know where it is. The standard response is, I don't know. Well, it's in the trash, it's broken, who broke my coffee cup?
I don't know.
I don't know. Accepting responsibility in this culture is not thought of the way we think of it. Mm-hmm. Accepting responsibility is weakness.
Okay.
It's not macho. We think of that in male terms. But it's just not a strength. It's not something they do. It's a case of, I didn't drop the spoon. It fell out of my hand.
And hit the ground. Mm-hmm.
We didn't have an accident because I ran a stop sign. You got in my way.
Mm-hmm.
Transferring responsibility is the first response of a TICO when something comes up that we think they ought to take responsibility for. Now, I want to tell you I'm making progress. It's slow, but it's progress. Every once in a while I did it, or some indication of responsibility. However, that's not generally followed by, I'm sorry. I consider that a goal, a gain. Which leads us to the third one, apologies. Do not expect an apology. It's not their responsibility to apologize to you.